going on to give a little like sneak peek to everybody that wants to watch. Just to summarize here what's going on. PPI data seems to be worse than expected. There were upward revisions in the prior months, which makes the market believe that the inflation story is not gone yet. This could cause future damage in the economy and cause inflation to rise off and pick up again, which is not what the Federal Reserve wants. So maybe they might just start changing their rhetoric next week and going into a little bit more hawkish stance, which is what might spook markets. I mean, yesterday we had a pretty strong upward trend. Um, we seem to be correcting that, and we're likely to correct that until the end of the day. There was another key piece of information that came out, which was the give me a second. It's here. The U.S. Jobless claims, the continued and the initial. The initial comes in strong, like higher than expected, which is not a good sign given the fact that this is data for November. And that's when a lot of people from the US elections start coming off their jobs, and the continued jobless claims continues to be high or higher than expected, which is not a good sign. It's not an indicator just yet, but it's something that we must pay attention to. So markets are likely to come down. The initial reaction was that dollar got a bit stronger and the S&P and the Nasdaq came down, and that has continued throughout. I do believe that might, we might see a little bit of a correction from yesterday's highs. Nothing, not going anything to the lows or anything, but again, we could see some consolidation around these levels just to until we start getting more data. Tomorrow we have nothing that could spook markets majorly, at least in the US. We have UK data that's going to give us a little bit of an idea of how the top world economies are doing. We know that China is right now hurting, so the UK is going to be interesting how they are weathering the storm. Because usually when the United States coughs, the rest of the world catches a cold. So it's something definitely to be paying attention to, as this can have effects in the U.S. economy. But yeah, so far right now it seems pretty muted. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how big hedge funds price this in. I know that inflation is still a fear. Um, Bitcoin barely moving on this news. I mean, we are seeing some movement, but nothing too crazy in the Bitcoin range. On the Nasdaq, we pretty much, we couldn't beat that resistance of 530, so we're now potentially coming under that. We'll see how that performs and how that behaves. But yeah, I mean, S&P is behaving okay. Maybe early exit. Thank God I have a couple of options contracts that might revalue themselves. Maybe we got gap up a little bit. People might take this as an opportunity. Again, it's an indicator. It's not a certainty that inflation is going to rise up based on this, but you know, there continues to be more and more data that starts showing those yellow lights, and then those yellow lights might turn into red lights really quickly. So it's something we are definitely paying attention to. But it seems that the Christmas rally is still underway. So thanks so much for watching, and peace out, guys. Stay goddamn sexy. All right.